Hello everyone. Today on my lunchtime walk, I'm thinking about technology investments. So I thought about recording that. So common thing I see is people thinking about investing in a technology or replacing a technology in their business and not thinking properly about if it's an investment, if it is just a cost, is it something you have to do, is it something you chose to do, and that can cause a bit of a disappointment when you start looking at the return on investment. Because if you have to do something, sometimes it's because technology is deprecated, you have to get out of it, so you're going to have to spend some money on it. And frequently, you wouldn't have a return on that investment because you have to do that. And you probably actually have a loss. But on the other side, when you decide to change technology because you want something else, you want a new tool, a new technology for something, you definitely should be looking at it through a lens of this is an investment. And if it is an investment, you should definitely consider how much money you're going to get back from it, how much ROI you're going to make on it. And to calculate that, you need to first define how you're going to calculate that. But in general, it's important to figure out first if it's an investment or if it is something you just have to do. So ignoring the you have to do part and assuming it's an investment, you have to go ahead and actually look at it as if it was a personal investment, but it's a business personal investment. So you need to look at different options, look at the costs, not just go for the cheapest one, but go for the one that makes the most sense for your business, which usually means it's the one that's going to give you a biggest return on the investment you have. So on the cost of that implementation. And quite frequently, I see people going and replacing a technology. Happens a lot with marketing technologies on bigger companies, sometimes with ERPs and some other technologies where people go ahead, start a migration project to replace a technology, either due to license costs, they get too expensive, or they're not happy with the vendor anymore, their support or their proactiveness, and they go ahead and go for a migration, which is basically a replacement like for like. When you do that, you should not be expecting any increase in return on the whatever technology you have. So in marketing technology, for example, you shouldn't be expecting any increase in email engagement or actual return on it. You need to assume that you'll migrate it and you're going to end up with a technology that is going to give you exactly the same thing. You're going to be sending the same emails, same marketing campaigns. You're not going to have a better delivering capabilities from that technology. So as long as that's clear, you don't get any nasty surprises when you go through the migration and realize the new tool is not bringing you any new fancy new features that you're not using because you're just migrating. So you actually have to do on that is assume you're going to get a loss during the migration, either because you decided to move that tool in a rush due to a cost or due to a license expiring, and take the cost and right after, as soon as you can, start actually a transformation project on that and plan how you should be using the new tool to bring the capabilities that you signed up for. But you need to spend time on that. You need to spend your resources on getting that technology to perform the way you wanted it to. When you just migrate like for like, you're not going to get any return on the investment. You're going to get a loss. Yeah, so it's just something I was thinking about today, that somehow I see quite big companies falling in that trap and feeling disappointed on going with the like-for-like migration and then expecting to see big results from it when they are literally doing exactly the same thing. I'm not saying you shouldn't be migrating your tools. You should be migrating when it's the right time and if you're not happy with your vendors, but you need to keep your expectations in check so you don't get disappointed with your project when it's actually going to plan and it just needs a second phase. Yeah, that was what I was thinking about. That's what I was thinking about today. Yeah, any thoughts on that? Do you have any, is there something you see on your jobs, on your businesses? Have you experienced that? Let me know what you think about that. Right, see you soon. Bye-bye.